Ugh. All right. Can you hear me now? What a great way to start. You should be able to hear me now. Hopefully. All right, perfect. That was so my cat, there's not as much room to sit in front of the screen, so she'll sit in the back, which is where all the cords are. And I guess she unplugged the microphone because I was looking at it and I was like, it's plugged in. And she must have knocked the cord out because I went and plugged it back in. So that was a fun way to start. Not exactly how you were. Not exactly how I want to start a stream. But everybody should be caught up, hopefully. What I was saying is that if you want to get a crown crate, that's a current thing on Twitch right now where you can get a bunch of rewards on there just by watching any ESO content. So I wanted to make sure that all you YouTube silly gooses knew about it, because I know a lot of you guys are like troglodytes and you don't like going to Twitch. So I'm just making sure that the stuff is still correct. I'm just making sure the drops are going on Twitch, because with my luck it'll be like, you're not actually, you don't have drops, Jakey Poo. And then I would feel like a real silly goose if I told you that I had drops enabled. I didn't. But it looked like it was going. All right, so what do you get? So by watching me, you could get 1 Osbro Crown Crate, and upon launch of update 42 for your console, which I guess means that if you wait, does that mean you get these other 2 things after update 42? So if you're like playing on PC, you get it now, and then if you play on console, you get it on the 16th. But you get a respec and then a 100% scroll. Aren't they like the lowest chances crates? These are the Osbro crates, which I can actually pull up if people want to see. I can tell you. I don't know why I'm staring at the ceiling. Sorry, it's been going crazy. Yes, you do have to watch on Twitch, but I can help anybody that needs help linking the 2 things together. If you need help doing any of those 2 things, making sure that it goes correctly, you only have to watch for 30 minutes on Twitch. I know technically it's not available on YouTube. The reason that I still post it on YouTube, though, is that I want you guys to see it. And even if you're like, I don't really care about a crown crate, you know about it. Because literally, everybody and their mom is streaming ESO on Twitch right now, but nobody's like, hey, let me talk about this on the YouTube. Nobody really does that. And hello, Whitney. I can't say that for you. Sorry, I still have my cough that's been lingering. That's why I didn't stream yesterday, because sometimes it's just really stupid. And unfortunately, I have to sit and do a whole bunch of talking every day, and it drives me insane. Not because I don't like talking, but because like by the end of the day, when I want to record a YouTube video, it's like, actually your voice is gone, and you're like, well, that's fantastic. This is what the only time that I personally wanted to be able to talk was right now. Actually, my father's voice is Lois Griffin. That's who my father's voice is. And whoever gave me the cough, that's really the true villain of the whole story. Do I know any small guild, or do I know any guilds that are active? So I guess guilds is always an interesting question because it really depends on like what you want in a guild. But the biggest thing is just go to your hang on, I'm having a moment here. Social, guild, and then go down to guild finder, and you can see pretty well how like what type of guilds you want to find. If you want an active guild that just does everything, I think social guilds are the best. I think you definitely want some guilds with good guild traders, because, you know, obviously it's important to have guild traders. You want to be able to sell stuff. I know a lot of people don't like guild traders. Very controversial thing, controversial addition, but definitely put it in there. Thanks for the stream, Jake, on YouTube. I would have missed it on Twitch. See, there you go. What's inside the box? So, oh yeah, Osbro crown crates. Let's see what the biggest pull rates are. Osbro crown crate drops. All right. Doesn't help me. I don't think these percentages are correct here on the website I'm on, because this one has a 0% chance to get an instant all research, which doesn't seem correct. But then you have a 1.38% chance of a legendary Apex drop. So how does that work? Oh my gosh. Hang on, what does this say? So suck that fart. Who knows? Every time saying his name is just always the goofiest thing. After every work day, has resubscribed tier 1 for 2 months in a row, 5 in total. I got excited that you're streaming and I dropped my laptop. I was actually curious about that question too. What do you usually watch? What do you usually guys watch on? And thank you for the gifted sub, Roxanne. And I'm really glad I went live, even still with I ran out of cough drops. It's just like, you know, so a lot of like my job, I have to talk on the phone. So like talking in person is, you know, it's pretty hard to mask the fact that you're like, you know, coughing. And on the phone, I was like going for cough drops, and I ran out, and I was like, shit. And I had to do this really long phone call with this really angry person. It was just like, and I would just mute my phone, go, and then I would keep it going. And then I would be like, yep, you're angry. Yep. Nothing will ever just make you happy ever again. So just, you know, keep it going. Somebody asked a question. I feel bad, by the way. You guys' messages are going very fast. Are you team blue, red, or yellow? Only one right answer. Well, the answer for me is blue. Even though blue of my, if you asked me like what is my favorite color of those 3 colors, it would be yellow, but I hate the Dominion, so for me it's blue. And it's going good. Root problems. I just want to make sure that I get all your guys' comments. Oh, I don't miss anything. Heck yeah, I found the stream. Well, thanks for dropping on over. I watch your YouTube videos to stay updated with ESO events. Somebody asked a really interesting question about why I make the certain types of videos that I do, because I will give you a secret, right? The majority, there's a reason why a lot of people don't cover specific ESO stuff, and it always kind of I don't want to say it bothers me, but it never felt balanced, because the YouTube algorithm is very particular in what it wants, right? So if I make a golden vendor video, right, how many of you guys are going to watch that in 3 weeks if it's 3 weeks old? Well, nobody's going to watch it, and that actually hurts you algorithmically. That's why a lot of people don't do it. And then the solution potentially could be, well, you could just unlist the video, but then you have you want to show advertisers, sponsors, whatever, that you can pull these amount of people, you know, in for videos. And if you're unlisting videos, then advertisers won't be able to see it. Is the drop not pulling up, Ron? It should be 30 minutes. The only thing that I don't know is it has update 42 next to 2 of those pieces. So I don't know if you get the 2 extra rewards, which is an XP scroll and then something else, something goofy like a respec scroll. I don't know if you get those upon update 42 on your server, or if they're just putting update 42 next to it just for funsies. But that's why a lot of people don't like covering like certain events that aren't going to get a whole lot of drops. Oh my god, you guys spamming drops. It's driving me crazy. And making me say the wrong things. But that's why people don't cover certain things. Like, you know, like if like a mount becomes available and all you have to do is like something really easy, I might make a 4-minute video on it, even though on Ron, when you have it, when you're on Twitch, are you on the Twitch app or are you on Twitch mobile, Ron? I've been curious, as a PC player, people play both. Is it easier skill-wise to play, perform better on one platform versus the other? So basically, is it easier to play on Xbox or PC? I have always thought that it depends. So there's a couple pros, cons playing on Xbox versus PC, right? Xbox pros. Very easy to make money, super easy to make money, super easy to get the gear you need. A lot of like active community. You can play on a controller. A lot of people love controllers. The Xbox Series X, you know, the Xbox can run ESO very well. You know, that always seems to be like a pretty smooth experience for people. The cons, and this is for PlayStation also, there's no add-ons. It makes it harder to do certain things without add-ons because of that. PCs also has a very lopsided economy, which can also actually be good for PC players because they can get crazy amounts of inflated gold. And you might think, well, inflated gold, Jake, is, you know, it's inflated. But you have to remember too, there's NPCs that you can buy from, so their inflation does benefit them, even though if you're buying from other players, it doesn't. So when it comes to that, you know, there's a difference there. PCs also are built by you, so, you know, however good your PC is, as good as you make it, versus a console, which is just as good as it is when you purchased it. But I really think the biggest difference is add-ons and accessibility. You know, like, do you want to play on a server that you know more people on, which for me is Xbox, or do you want to have add-ons and accessibility options and stuff like that? Well, we are going to flip some items, so don't worry. But I'm curious as to why Ron can't. So, Ron, when you go on the Twitch app and... Okay, hang on. Okay, hang on. All right. So, Ron, click in the top left corner of your icon and your account, and it should bring up your account name, my channel, subscriptions, drops and rewards, settings, and appearance. Go to drops and rewards, and if you see in progress, and then you see Osboro, Crown Crates, XP Scroll, Skill Respec, you're doing everything you're supposed to do. If you don't see that, let me know. But if you see that there, that means that you, by watching, are earning the Crown Crate. And that you should be all hunky-dory. I mainly meant PvP and PvP, not necessarily economy. And the only reason I mentioned that stuff too, Jeff, is because it is a perfect part of it. It's relevant in bar to entry. So, for example, if you wanted to gold out a set on Xbox, it's very cheap, you know, so it's very, like, if you wanted to gold out a full set of everything, it'd be like a couple 100,000 gold minimum. PC, it's millions of gold, so you're gonna have to then go and, you know, grind out a lot more. You're gonna have to grind to get to the end game, probably more on PC, but once you're there, you have all these add-ons that you can use to help benefit you, to make sure that you're doing everything, you know, properly. You know, like, it's gonna tell you, hey, you know, this is what you're parsing at, this is what you're doing wrong, this is what you're doing right. And because of that, you get a lot of extra information that's helpful. So from there, you can gain more information and kind of min-max yourself better. There are also players that play on both Xbox and PC, and they use the PC add-ons to then play on Xbox so that they can still practice on both. Because in theory, if you're, practicing a parse, it's, you can still get better at parsing on PC, playing on a controller, and then take that same information and get better on Xbox. It's a very weird way to think about it. But I have also seen a lot of people who went from Xbox PvP to PC PvP and did really well. I think that ESO's PvP is a lot easier on a controller. So from what I've seen, and this is very anecdotal, you can get easier kills on PC for PvP. That might be completely anecdotal and just what people are saying and what I've observed. It's very hard to gauge that. But I think generally ESO plays better with a controller. I also think that there's a lot of like PvE endgame players that do PvP just so that they can get their transmutes, and you see that a bit more on PC. You don't use add-ons. Like, I mean, you don't need add-ons. It just kind of depends on like what you're doing. Like, to me, if you're parsing, I would 100% want the add-ons to give me all the information that I'm missing out on. Thanks for the info. Controller info is what I was curious about. I mean, and to be fair, like, it's not hard to get a controller that links to PC. No sub notifications. No, there should be a sub notification. Right? Yeah. The ones that came up, see, I could replay the last one. So it should. I would die without add-ons. That's how most people are. And for good reason, too. So, for those of you who are interested in gold flipping, I always start in the refuges, right? This is what I always tell people. You Prime sub and it didn't pop up? Oh. It didn't, that's not on the, let's see if it's here. No, it doesn't show up on Twitch either. But if you did it, I mean, I appreciate you, Ron. I'll give you I can't do the noise because it's like a pterodactyl noise, but I appreciate you regardless. If I had an Xbox, I would switch from PC. I started ESO recently with Necrom. Gold Road looks cool too. Amen ruins the game. Sorry, you guys' messages are coming very fast. And I always feel guilty when I miss your messages. And it was funny because yesterday I was watching a live stream of a person, he had like 50 concurrent. You Prime sub. Oh wait, I see. Hang on. Bellatrix Orion has resubscribed tier 1 for 2 months, and then Mr. Rick Hole has subscribed. Oh, hang on, that might be they coming now. No, I don't see any other ones. Huh. I promise if I see it, I will shout it out. And I trust your word too. So thank you, Grumpy Moose Gaming. And I can't, or who was it that said that? No, it was Grumpy Moose Gaming, whose name is also Ron. Thank you as well. I don't know I don't know. What was I doing? What was I saying? Oh, if you want to earn the rewards, Chris, you have to go to Twitch, and then you just link your ESO account, and then you're all good to go. You'll get a crown crate, an XP scroll, and a respec scroll thing. But so when you're flipping items, somebody had asked for like an hour-long guide. Not obviously what we're going to be doing, but we'll talk through things and talk to the chat as we go. Because when it comes to item flipping, it's one of the more niche things in ESO to do. And the very first thing you have to think to your head is where are you going to go? And I want you to think of it like this. The Mournhold traders are like Walmart, right? That's the first, that's the main plaza where people go shop. It's the Walmart. They go to Walmart whenever they need something. And, if they don't go to Walmart, maybe they go to Target. Target is like Elden Root and Wayrest, right? Those places, they're going to have affordable prices, but you're not going to really find anything in those stores that makes you go, ooh, that was crazy good of a deal. Thank you for the subscription, Uma 3D Prints. Do you actually do 3D printing on Twitch? I actually have a 3D printer. It's like right over. You guys can't see where I'm pointing, but it's like right over there. And then this is where it becomes a bit interesting. So then you look at refuges. So a refuge is basically any guild trader that's in a Thieves Guild refuge, which is this. Well, you can't see the markers easily, but it's this like little print, right? This is a refuge. These guild traders cost sometimes 10,000 gold, 100,000 gold a week. The people who are in these guilds are not doing it with any intent to sell, right? They're really just doing it because they're like, oh, there's a guild trader here. Let me just throw up stuff randomly for anything. Sometimes things are listed affordably. A lot of times they're listed at crazy, ridiculous prices. And sometimes you can get yourself an absolute steal. Here are the guild traders, though, that I think don't get a lot of love. This is like your guild traders that are in, zones that aren't very popular, but they're overworld, so they cost a lot. So it's kind of like people list stuff affordably, but there's not a lot of traction there. And because of that, a lot of stuff is usually priced pretty affordably. And so I would never try to flip as much from those two unless you run out of places to go. Is it the Asborough drop? Yep, it is. That's all you have to do. I have 2 up on the Maker Deck channel right now. That's very cool. I was very interested in 3D printing, and I 3D printed some of my own stuff, mostly stands and whatnot. Some of the stands in the background are 3D printed, but I'll be moving soon. So some of the videos you're gonna see all this stuff taken down. It will just be like a white background for a few days, and it'll be somewhere new. Woo! Moving is so fun and exciting. I see you're very close to 1K followers on Twitch. Is it helpful when you get above 1K like YouTube? So no, in a sense that the 1K mark doesn't mean anything, but what it does mean is that you can only join the stream team for ESO once you have over 1,000 followers. And I always interpreted that as like, well, I have 1,000 followers on YouTube, can I count that? And they were like, no. And so I was like, well, what should I do? And they're like, well, just get 1,000 followers on Twitch. And I was like, but I use the YouTube, I'm a YouTuber, And they're like, well, can't you just become a streamer? And I'm like, do I look like I'm streaming material to you? Like, I understand it's a stream team, but I thought it was like, back in the day, the stream team was like the ESO content creation team, but they've changed that. They've kind of like increased, now you don't have to be a streamer to like, get in their good graces. Now you can just be a dum-dum that puts a pun in front of videos and hopes that increases the retention long enough for the algorithm to like it. That's the goal. But yeah, so 1,000 Twitch followers won't do anything for me on Twitch, but it will help me apply when they open the stream team applications again, which is why we're so close. What are we at right now? We are at... Why is it not telling me what we're at? I tried to load it up on my phone and it loaded an ad. That's the average Twitch experience. This is the other thing why I like streaming on YouTube better is YouTube's not like, oh, you watch for 30 seconds, here's an ad. It's more like, actually, does YouTube put ads? Actually, I don't really ever see ads on any of my videos. We are at 969 followers on Twitch. It is a funny number, yes, but it'd be even greater if we get that to 1,000. I had to switch from Twitch chat. Chat won't let me comment. Huh. It's crazy because you're near 20K on YouTube. Yeah, well, so back in the day, it was like they only ever had a stream team. And I think the goal was to make ESO like a game that was streamed a lot. Let's get some streamers, let's get some rewards to people who watch. and YouTube was 100% a better viewing experience. 1,000%. Like, I don't want to twist my arm at all. Let's say that as a YouTuber, which is very cringe to say. I apologize. I don't really mean it like that. It is a better viewing experience on YouTube. And YouTube, I think, is just more informative too. I think it's just a little bit better. Yeah, thank you, Root. Hit the like button. Only 14 so far. But like I was explaining a bit earlier, the unfortunate reality of when you're a YouTuber is that tries to push out as much ESO content as possible to keep people informed. And I should say too, it's not necessarily because I like love ESO or anything. It's because I want you guys to have the information. Like if there's an Explorers event, I'm going to tell you about it. That video is not going to do very well. Or if the Tuesday vendor is not good, I'm not just going to skip the Tuesday vendor, even though algorithmically YouTube's going to be like, well, this guy just put out a video and nobody likes it. Is he dying? Is he going to become is he gone? Thank you, Cambridge. And so that can be a little bit frustrating sometimes. I confuse the algorithm with my videos, but to me, the information is always more important than how it works on the algorithm. You know, like in theory, yes, if I made less videos and, you know, didn't put out as much stuff, it would, you know, it would be better because then the videos that were more relevant to you would go to you. I found the only benefit to Twitch is you can get Twitch drops or rewards, and on YouTube you can't. YouTube always hits me on the commercial, or hits me on the commercial in the middle part or something important. Does it do that during live streams though? Love the puns. Thank you. I'm sad today it's raining. I'm hoping that it was raining a lot here too. Maybe we're in the same place. The frustrating part is, so part of my job, thank you for the subscription, Daddy799. The unfortunate part of my job is that to go to people's homes, which usually, you know, people's homes are a real gamble on how they work. I mean, imagine driving through a random neighborhood and going into a random home. Sometimes that's what my job is like. And they had no AC and they had tons of pets. And it was just like, I was there like... Oh. Send rain to Vegas. 110 here for the rest of the weekend. Oof. But back to flipping. So I was giving an example. Refuges are like Goodwills. So you've got your big box stores. That's all your Mournholds, your Eldon Roots, your Wayrests. That's your big box stores. Everybody's going to go there. You might find something on clearance there every so often. Maybe, you know, a snack doesn't sell very well and now it's on clearance and you can buy it for super cheap, right? You might find that in Mournhold. I know people who try to item flip in Mournhold, and you can do it. But this is the refuges are the Goodwills. And then those middle traders, like those traders in DLC areas that are kind of like in weird spots, like, you know, like who's gonna go to like the Reach to look for an item, or the Gold Coast, you know, for example. So there's really no reason to go there. And this actually ties into a question that was asked, which was how it was something along the lines of like, what's the best way to run a trade guild, or what's the best way to get to go from there? Your best bet is to save your money and go to a good guild trader. There's no reason to try to do that weird interim guild trader mumbo jumbo, and it's unfortunate, but those interim guild traders will probably run you between 1 and 3 million, and you're not going to get any benefit from them at all. Like none. It's going to bleed you dry, and then it's just going to take money away from you from being able to go to a better spot. Yeah, and you can find good stuff in different places. I don't want to take away from going to any of those places. It's kind of like going to, like, I'm trying to think what's like a middle big box store. It's like going to BJ's, or it's like a store that people are kind of like indifferent on. Yeah, Walmart, Target, those are like the two big boys. I was thinking stores. 1 to 3 million on consoles. Well, I mean, there's 22, no, is it 24 now? Million ESO accounts. I don't know if you meant like players, total players. Xbox NA, Craglord, and Mournhold, just like IRL, guild price gougers. I bounce all over the place looking for traders. My Xbox traders have a member that makes me good gold and none in prime locations. And none have dues. Best Buy, there you go. It's like going to, you know, like putting a guild trader in Kavach, because I used to pay for a Kavach guild trader and it's expensive. There's a reason why Best Buy is expensive. And funny enough, Best Buy is like one of the worst places you could ever finance anything from. This is a weird tangent, but please don't finance from Best Buy. But I missed the message. Who was I tried playing, where was that from? Is the community still casual? Not that it's a bad thing, but last time I tried in this game, I spent 9 out of 10 attempts searching for people rather than playing. Gratwood has good pricing. Wife says I gotta go. Let's be an upload later. Yep, it'll all be on YouTube as a rewatch. So does Somerset and Stormhaven on Xbox. So when you're talking about casual on Xbox and PlayStation, they did add a new feature that lets you search for like trials, you know, through a group finder type thing. So I think that's a pretty good thing to do it. And there still are prog groups and everything else. You just kind of have to know where to look to get them. How can I get the free crown crate? You just log on over to Twitch and then watch for 30 total minutes. And then you're good to go. But as we look through the items here, 200 gold. Man, if only this set was anything decent. Well, no, that's... Well, no. So the reason why you might think, Jake, this set is absolutely hot garbage. Why would you ever consider buying it? I was looking at the trait on it, and it's like, you know, maybe the trait might be, you know, worth selling. Warrior Poet. Hang on, I'm gonna look that up real quick. Not that Warrior Poet is like very expensive, but it is, I believe, in one of the zones that doesn't have a there's no world event, which means that you have to get them from chests, which can be really annoying. A necklace, unfortunately not a ring. What do we got? This unfortunately will only ever tell me the price of it. It doesn't tell me the quality that they're selling at. So the average sale price is 7,000. But it doesn't tell me. You know, I'm gonna buy this and try to flip it for 30. I think I can get 30 for that, because there's not that many sales. It's from a good zone. I actually bought Thunderbug the other day just to see how it would go. Actually, buy that too. That's a bit pricier, but I bought Thunderbug like because it was listed for 1,000 the other day. All of those pieces sold. It was actually kind of crazy. Yeah, if you sell for usually slightly below market value, you're still pretty good. Do you sell it in purple? Like, what do you mean? Like, do I upgrade things, or what do you mean? You'd love to see the ring a price. Jake, you would love to see the ring and necklace price as I list. Usually not more than 2,000 to 3,000 per piece. Blue or gold? Afflicted. Oh, I mean, it depends. I mean, most jewelry is not worth like a crazy amount because you can get it pretty easily in world events. But if you find 3,000 for Plague Doctor, that's crazy. All right, we'll grab some of that. Grab that too. But a lot of so I generally don't put a lot of thought into like the quality of stuff that I'm buying unless it's very relevant. And with the guild trader changes, it's not as important as it used to be. Oh, I just invited him to the group. I meant to travel to him. Somebody's to be very confused. So I try to go alphabetical. Like I'll pick one of my guild traders that is you know, like has a lot of people logged in, and I accidentally invited, because then you can search by location and then you can go down the list, and I'll go, okay, I'm in the Alakir Desert. Alakir starts with A. He accepted my group invite. I'm so sorry. If you want it out of your inventory, that's the way to do it. I mean, like, if you sell a bunch of stuff, I mean, there's a reason why places like Goodwill and thrift stores stay in business. Twitch is on the 3rd largest commercial break now for me on YouTube. None yet. That is crazy. That's crazy because I literally told YouTube, I said, put an advertisement every 5 seconds. Let's milk them. I'm just kidding. Actually, I don't even get like an option. It's just like, would you like, is this going to be a monetized or demonetized stream? And it's like, I'm not going to say anything that controversial, you know, like, I'm not going to go crazy with it. I'd be like, let me tell you guys how I really feel about certain people. Isn't it crazy that these worm cult stuff used to be worth like buku bucks? How the mighty have fallen. It's a pretty good deal, actually. It was 2,000. Yeah, we'll try that. You have to have Gold Road and do the quests. What do you... Or did I miss it? Milk these dummies. Actually, I like you guys a lot. These people that are not watching, those are the guys, you know, that drive me crazy. I have every time I post the videos I make on Facebook, sometimes there'll always be one comment, and it's from like the same person that's like, hey, can you make this into a written guide? Then it's like my golden vendor video. like it, just like look at the thumbnail half the time, you know, like amazing monster set in store. Just go to the point of the video with the monster set and you'll know. Gold Road to do scribing right, Jake, or Gold Road DPC to do scribing right, Jake. Well, the problem is we don't have the Gold Road yet. We're on console right now. We're just chilling in the desert, you know. I really thought that red mask and even the 250,000 is probably fairly a good price for that shoulder. Don't want to risk it because it's probably going to sit for at least 31 days. Which of these did I have? I don't have this one. Huh. So then the next, so we've been to the Alakir Desert. We go back to that same guild and we see this person's in Apocrypha. I think, does Apocrypha have a... Does Apocrypha have... I promoted them. Oh my goodness. This is what you don't want to do. Well, don't do what I'm doing. Oh my god. This is why it's very important to not be distracted. Then you want to hit travel to them, not promote and demote. That's the wrong thing. Oh, you're talking about like people who are using the scribing system? Yes, I had this conversation with let me make sure I did that correctly because I feel like I could have made it oopsie poopsie. Okay, I think they're right back to where they were. I'm gonna get an angry message later. What'd you do? So, and I want your guys' thoughts on this because I actually have mixed opinions on this, and I don't want to sound controversial, but so there's two ways you could look at anything, right? So sometimes when ESO releases something and there's like nothing that's like important, like nothing that's going to make my character more interesting or cool or unique or anything that affects like the characters that I have, you know, by giving me something new to play with. Like Antiquities is a perfect example. I'm like, man, I love the Antiquity system. I think it's balanced. I think it's cool. I think it's fun. So that was a really good way to kind of give us something new and give me a new skill line for my characters. Dark Brotherhood, cool. Thieves Guild, cool. I mean, even Sijic Order, not fun to level up, but cool otherwise. I'll go to Necrom instead, since apparently Apocrypha doesn't have any Thieves Guild refuges. But on the flip side is if you don't have those DLCs, well, then you can't access any of those things. You can't get a Mythic if you don't have Western Skyrim. So it's kind of like, well, there's this balancing act of like, if you have Western Skyrim, you can get these cool mythics and you can have this cool thing, you know, that's accessible for you to do. Is that fair? And I think this is basically that again, where it's like this system of scribing is awesome, but is it fair to people who don't have access to the DLC? And it's a hard question to answer, because you could look at it the flip side and say, well, if a DLC comes out and there's not shit for me to do, why do I want to do it? And I think that's a good, there's all these ways to think about it. And where's the refuge? Oh, there it is. So from your guys' perspective, just whack me over the head. Let me know. What would you rather have? An update that gives you something new and unique and a way to play the game, but then requires you to pay for it? Or would you rather have something that it's not super game breaking, it's not going to go over your head and whack you, and feels a bit more like even the people who don't have access to it will be fine? Because I've always leaned more towards just make it really cool and I'll buy it, and I'm not going to complain because it's really cool. But on the flip side, not everybody can buy stuff, so that's the balancing act. And I never want to sound I don't ever want to sound I don't want to phrase it, like, I don't want people to think that I'm like, yes, just buy everything that ZeniMax makes, because I don't think that way. In fact, if you've ever heard anything I've said about the Crown Store, I say there's like 2 good things in there and you could skip the rest of it. And even the 2 good things that I encourage people to potentially get, if they're in there, even those 2 things you could totally live without. So I don't want people to think that I'm like, yes, buy all the DLCs, buy all the updates. I prefer an update that fixes performance issues, and I get that too. And they've been trying to make their Q3 updates tailor-made to do those things. And I know that they've done their big hardware update. I do think that they should still multitask. I want them to obviously still make cool stuff, but I also want them to keep working and fixing the game too. Man, this thing used to sell for $2 million. Is it really down to 55,000? Hang on, we're gonna have to do our Google. And this is the other thing too, is you don't ever have to become an expert. In my descriptions, you'll always find resources that will teach you how to price, or that will tell you how to price check. All right, Opel Engine Guardian. Wow, common range 40 to 65,000. That's crazy. I feel left out as I can't currently afford to buy the new chapter and can't get any exciting changes in the new chapter. Do you play on PC, CLB, or what do you play on? There was there's a DDoS issue too. I'd seen that. I bought everything but all the expansions and all the DLC and more. I don't understand. If message me on Discord, CLB. The developers, when they did the video the other day, the sponsored video, they gave me a PC code that gives me all the expansions, but I don't play on PC, so I couldn't use it. So if you message me on Discord and say, hey, it's CLB 1024, I can give you that code. By improving the mailing system, I wouldn't be surprised though, because you got to think like me, I keep a lot of mail in my mail, and if people mail me a lot, and I get trades a lot and sales a lot, so I think that will probably help. Yeah, no problem. Just make sure to message me on Discord, because I will 100% forget. So you earn the Crown Crate by logging over to Twitch, and you just watch for 30 minutes. Then you get yourself a crate, an XP scroll, and a bunch of other random gobbledygook, or some other random gobbledygook. That's not a bunch more, a little bit more. The main thing is the Crown Crate, even though reasonably the XP scroll's probably going to be better than what you get. I apologize, I still have the cough. And there's 116 of you hooligans in here. This is one of my most watched live streams, and I still don't have my voice back, and it's driving me crazy. No problem, Miguel. Smuggle skooma in the mail. I just hope I don't get lampooned for accidentally promoting and demoting somebody. I almost did it again. This is why you have to read. And that actually is a good point too. So because a lot of the giveaway drawings are via comments, and there's obviously a lot of messages in chat, I will always do as much as I can to read every message and every comment. But if you need to get a hold of me, just message me on Discord. That's the one that's the easiest to keep tabs on. Well, thank you, CLB. Hopefully I can help you hit getting those. I'm running the complete opposite direction of where these refuges. If I can help you get those DLCs. Which is kind of funny because that's the second time they've given me a DLC code, and I've said like, hey, you know, I don't play on PC, and I've gave away the first one also. Timer on drop working, but I did just get the drop, so it's working to get, just not the timer. Oh, well, maybe that's why Ron couldn't see it earlier. But if you're ever curious as to what the status is, if you click on your profile, so like if you like lower the video, click on your profile icon and then go to drops, it'll tell you like what you're actively working on, like working towards. And it'll say like, oh, you're 20 minutes or whatever. Duck pics in the mail. You know, I can only imagine how many megabytes that takes up. Another question that comes up everyone item flipping is, Jake, there's all these furnishing plans, and furnishing plans are probably one of the more risky things that you can try to sell, because yes, I guarantee you that if you found a buyer, you could sell this for more than 150 gold. The problem is it's going to sit and sit and sit, and if you're taking up a guild trader slot, what's your profit margin? 1,000 gold? For 1,000 gold, you could go break down a bunch, or you could go make a bunch of crafted sets. For 1,000 gold, you could just do like a popular trait, like impenetrable or divines, and people would probably buy it just to research that trait. So that's why it's like a lot of these are skippable unless you're like, oh, I don't have this, and then I'll buy it for myself. Pariah for 50,000. Ooh, I'm gonna see what the average price are. Well, I gotta think too. You know, I gotta remember that it's cheaper to upgrade these days. That's also a ring, and we have to remember too that Q4 is gonna be a PvP update. So we gotta. These are all the things you gotta think about. So the average range seems to be between 4,000 and 45,000. For Pariah. So is 55,000 gold good value? How much is it for? How much are chromium plates? Let me do some mental math. Chromium platings, 5 to 65. So it's still, I mean, it's still a good chunk of gold to upgrade. You know what? I accidentally clicked off of it, so I got to reload it. But we're gonna buy this. We're gonna buy the Signet of the Pariah, because I think this is actually a decent thing to do. And these are the brainal compartment things that as you flip, these are what the conversations that you want to have to yourself. Now, having conversations to yourself is generally frowned upon in modern society, so usually you keep this to yourself. But if you're streaming, this is what goes through my brainal compartments. One, where does that set come from? It comes from Rothgar, and it's really annoying to get because Rothgar doesn't have world events. That's like a checkbox in the Jake, you should buy this. This is a rare item. Then it's in like something on the discouraging list. It's like, well, Jake, it just became really cheap to get chromium platings. So 55,000 for a gold item is not 55,000 like it used to be. So that's like a check in there. That's like a cross in the negative box. You know, that's a bad boy box. Then I think, well, then I look at the average sale price, which was, I'll pull it back up again. So chromium plates is 5 to 65,000. So I'm thinking, okay, that's pretty expensive still to upgrade from nothing if you have to spend 5 to 6,500 gold to get it. So I'm like, okay, we're putting a checkbox into the Jake, you should buy this. Then it's a ring. So a ring is better because you likely need 2 of them. So that's like a checkbox in the other one. Was watching you on YouTube and had to hop over just to ask, why do you play on console over PC? I have an account on all three and can just seem to pick one over the other, but we're great to hear an argument for one or the other from a serious player like yourself. With the answer, unfortunately, you're probably not going to like, because it's very straightforward, and that's just my friends play on Xbox, so I play on Xbox with them. I like the ESO economy on Xbox a lot too. I think it's very user friendly, very easy to understand. So for me, that's always the main answer for me. But I think comparing consoles is always very difficult. You should just find a community and then just go headfirst into that community, unless they're a cult. But they might be like a cool cult, like the guys in the Falkreath, so you never know. So we're visualizing an item, right? So we have a lot of check boxes going around, and then we see the average sale price is between 4,000, 45,000 gold. So that's the common range. So then I'm thinking, well, the most common one sold is probably blue. And if you put blue right smack dab in the middle, that's 17,609. So the average blue ring is 17,609. And the cost to upgrade that from purple to gold would be pretty expensive. So from there, I'm thinking this is a good buy. We'll list this up. And thank you for the Twitch Prime subscription, SSG Heffley. Hopefully that was said correctly. Also, too, I forgot to mention this. I mentioned it a bit earlier, but that's going to be a big PvP update. Pariah is a big PvP set. Highly recommended. It is very hard to farm. So I see its supply continuing to remain very stagnant, because people who have it probably have it, but nobody's really going out and farming it. But then on the opposite end, as we get towards Q4, which is big PvP bad mama jamma, we're going to be in a situation where a lot of people want to buy it, but then the supply is not going to meet that demand. And thank you for the subscription, Crashed NCT. Well, hello there, Vaughn. If only they fixed Crown Store issues as fast as, or if only they fixed performance issues as fast as they fixed Crown Store issues, ESO would be the best optimized game in existence. I like ESO, but it definitely has its problems. That's very fair. Way off subject, my warden just got Earthgore monster sets, and I have 5 transformative hope, 5 powerful assault, and 5 spell gear. Which one should I replace? Powerful assault or spell power cure? I think it depends on the content that you're doing. Not to give a cop out, I watch a lot of lawyers on YouTube, and a lot of times they'll just say it depends, or it and I hate that answer, but it will depend. Obviously, spell power cure, I mean, look at these sets from a perspective of like who's going to be benefiting, how many people do I need to benefit, what type of content am I doing, etc., and that'll determine where you need to go. That's the same for anything. I'm playing on PC, but I started with a keyboard and mouse, and after 2 years I switched for a controller. Honestly, this MMORPG is fun with a controller, and it works fine. I think controller is actually the easiest way to play it. And thank you for the YouTube subscription, Kasu Christian. And for those of you who may not pop up if you subscribe on YouTube, I think you have to have like public subscriptions enabled on YouTube for your name to pop up. So people are like, I subscribed on YouTube, why didn't I pop up? I think it's like a setting, because sometimes it's hard for me to see who subscribed to me, and so I think there's a setting that you have to like click or something. Yeah, throwback to that time when I was streaming live and I like answered a question and I missed the fact that there was like kudas listed for like hundreds of gold each, not thousands, and I missed them. I still think about that all the time. Here's another good, as we talk about flipping, just to let you guys know stuff that goes through my head, right? So here is Powerful Assault Boots. I sold these very recently for a quick, crisp 9,000 gold. And that's a 4,000 gold profit. But here's why I'm not like jumping at the bit to get a 4,000 gold profit, which normally would be in that range where I'm like, that's pretty good. The one boots that I sold had a better trait, and so I'm like, probably won't sell as quickly. And it's not necessarily about profit, it's about how fast you can resell. Because if you can't resell something quickly, it's taking up a guild trader slot and it's not earning you any money. I would rather sell things faster for more gold, because you're going to then reopen that spot up. So the second thing that goes through my head is I already have a lot of listings up right now. So I'm not going to, use one of my few slots for something like that's only going to earn 4,000 gold. With my disability, I had to give up on console as the controller is hard to handle. I hated the PC ASW to move, but I've now gotten used to it. I think a lot of time when I used to play, and this might not even work anymore, we used to be able to press like the right mouse click and then hit the clicker, like hold both of them essentially, and it would move your character like that also, and you can move the mouse to do it. I don't know if you could still do that, but it kept you from having to use the arrow pads. I also think that my thingamahoosin, my chat box, is no longer portraying. Hang on. It's no longer popping up with YouTube chats. I'm just gonna reset it real quick. Both equal block. So if you press the one, so you have to hold the right first and then press, does that do it at all? So if you start holding the right one and then you press the left one, does that do it, or is that still just block? Oh, good night, Vaughn. Thank you for stopping by. That's Bash. All right, well, that just shows how much I know. Worth a shot. Oh, another thing that I always think too about Rothgar. People might think, well, Jake, you just sung the praises of Rothgar. Why don't you buy the treasure maps for? And that's because the odds of you getting a purple, very low. Thingamahoosin. Exactly. So the odds of you getting something good is pretty low. And there's no motifs. There's nothing really interesting that drops from there. So I usually skip Rothgar maps, even if they are listed fairly affordably. Do you think flipping helps or hurts the economy? I think it helps. So this is my theory, is even though I'm buying things for cheaper than what they should be listed for, oftentimes I'm only making probably on average maybe 5,000 to 8,000 gold profit. And for them, they're not paying guild trader dues. So for them, they're just, losing out on a little bit of gold versus me, who's, paying more to basically, I'm paying tens of thousands of gold a week just to have the sales space inside of a Walmart essentially. So from them, most of the time they're getting the price that they wanted. I'm getting, the ability to make enough to continue to pay my guild traders, So I think overall it's good for the economy because they're still getting sales off of it that they wanted. ESO has way bigger economic problems than flipping. I will say, though, I do think the ESO's economy is pretty well managed versus other ones. Like, it's not like RuneScape where they just, the RuneScape economy, they just let it go, man. Like, for like $1, you could buy like 1 billion gold. Like, they just let that market just flutter away. And what it's about is we're talking about item flipping, and we're also talking about just stuff that comes up in the chat. I think they're talking about the mail system too. I think it's people. I don't know if you're referencing what I'm doing versus what they're doing, but I think that's a problem that might be coming up too, whereas things are selling, but then you're not getting the mail for them until a little bit later. It's awesome catching you on Twitch. Well, thank you for stopping by. We are 78 viewers on Twitch. I think we have a few more viewers on Twitch than we do YouTube, which is very rare. I actually have enough concurrent viewers right now to get the Twitch special program thing. But I mean, for me, Twitch is Twitch is more of a thing that I have to do versus passionate. I'm not like super passionate about Twitch. I like making guides more than I do liking to stream. I just feel like it's a bit easier. I like hearing about social work cases, man. I can tell you, did I trap myself in here? What the hell? I have to walk out of this. I have so many of those bad boys. There we go. That was embarrassing. Game is crashing on 3 different systems. Not happy. That's crazy. I didn't. Have there been performance issues on like Xbox and PlayStation? Yeah, the mail system definitely does get laggy sometimes. Take that from somebody who buys like tens of items at once. It can definitely become laggy. It must be on the other side here. It's funny today that I was talking to a family and they're like, we got kicked off of our housing subsidy because we, let our son use it as a place to get mail. And they said that, he was living there, and the whole time and they took us to court, and I'm like, so they proved in court your brother was living here, and they're like, he was homeless. And I was like, are you implying that you did let him stay here? I get that you feel like there was a bit of an overreaction, but you started with like, yeah, we didn't let him stay here, but then it was kind of like, well, he's homeless, so you did let him stay there, which is against the rules that they have. So sometimes it's just kind of like, this is it's kind of the bed that you sit in. Did you guys see the Zoom case about the guy who came to Zoom court while driving on a suspended license as a case? Did you guys hear about that? Yep. Yeah, so he was going around, he was like, I'm innocent, I should have had my driver's license reinstated years ago, blah blah blah. And okay, so it's very straightforward, right? So this guy has a Zoom court hearing, right? Pretty common. I've had plenty of Zoom hearings myself. And so he zooms into court while driving, and he was like, "Oh, just pulling into my doctor's office," right? And he looks completely alone in the car. And he's like, I just pulled in, I parked the car, and then the judge is like, so we're here today on a man with a suspended license, and he's driving. And then the defense counsel is like, yes, that appears to be correct. Thank you for the subscription, Evil Mel Snogardars. Sometimes I think you guys have some of the craziest names. Sometimes I think you guys just subscribe so that I say these crazy names and you guys can clip it. Be like, look what I made him say. I'm kidding. So he zooms in and the judge is like, I'm revoking your bond. Please turn yourself into the jail. So he spends like 2 days in jail, gets released. And he gets released and he's like, I never should have gone to jail. My license should have been reinstated. I didn't do anything wrong. My defense attorney should have known. It was a clerical error. And he was like, it's a clerical error. I didn't do anything wrong. And then the follow-up court hearing happens and the judge is pissed because he goes over like how his license became suspended, and having a here's a funny, interesting part. Having a suspended license doesn't mean that you have a license. It just means that you are suspended from driving. So this guy went on this big press tour saying, I should have had it made. There was a clerical error. He never had a license ever. He never did the driver's test. He never did anything. He never at any point in his whole life owned a license. And the judge pointed this out correctly because he said in the state of Michigan, to get a state ID, you cannot have both a state ID and a driver's license. And every single year he's been renewing his state ID, which precludes him from having a driver's license because that would override the state ID. So he was like, he knows all of this, and his punishment is actually really funny. So in the hearing, he was like, we're going to set this out until I think like November. And he's like, I want him to go to the DMV And I want him to go through the learner's permit. I want him to come back in November with a valid driver's license, which was hilarious. The other part of the story that he also said was that he was driving his wife to the hospital. But at one point, the camera kind of pans and it doesn't look like there's anybody in the driver's seat. I would be shocked if I would be shocked if he thought that was a good idea to make that up. But I think that he lied about that too. But the judge kind of like, we'll let that go. You get yourself a driver's license. You went viral. Everybody knows that you're a dum-dum. Just get a license. We'll be back. You saw all you subs that made you sit through the ads. I'm so sorry. Which part did you miss? And I have seen so many people do so many stupid things on Zoom Court. The problem is I would do CPS hearings, so like Child Protective Services hearings, so you guys would never be able to see them. But I found out, by the way, this was fascinating to me. Some states actually do allow you to watch CPS hearings like through Zoom. I thought that was shocking because a lot of times a lot of this stuff is like private for most states, but some states are like, no, you can watch them. And let me tell you, they're exactly how they are in our hearings too. And it's crazy. Although I will say the one state that does allow you that I've seen to watch CPS hearings, or at least the most popular one, is Texas. And those judges, man, they are brutal. Yeah, exactly. He said his doctor, his appointment, he claimed he drove his wife to the hospital. He is so lucky that it's crazy. He missed the middle, however, I actually knew the middle, fortunately, and caught up at what you were saying. So that's good. I mean, if any of you guys missed stuff due to ads, and I'm so sorry. I know that freaking Twitch is like, we're going to fill you with ads, you know? And you're like, I don't want to be filled with anything. And they fill you with ads. Although Rothgar treasure maps for 100, that does seem pretty affordable. Although if I was buying these maps, I would not flip them. I would actually just do them. Did I ever tell you the train story about being a social worker in a court hearing? Does anyone recognize the train story? I could tell you a real crazy story about court hearings. I can't remember if I've told the story or not. Could I do a joke even if it's slightly bad? Like a dad joke? The most recent one I did was, why does the red guard's foot hurt? And it's because his hammer fell. But the funny part about that story was actually, if you look at what's in my hand, it's a screwdriver. Because for some reason in my my like box of tools, my hammer wasn't there, so I had to use a screwdriver. But I try to hold it in a way that it looks like a hammer, but it's actually a screwdriver. So it's, why does the red guard's foot hurt? Because his hammer fell, and then, you know. So went from getting filled up and now a train. And ironically, the train story is also relevant to an actual the filling up kind of train. So I was sitting in court, right, and I was super stressed because this hearing was crazy. It was about a substance abusing mom, and I had gotten subpoenaed records, or I'm sorry, warranted records for her. What's the way you would phrase this? Resubmitted a warrant and got a lot of her Facebook data, Snapchat data. We got text messages, phone call times. We got prison calls. We got everything. And yes, it was King Louis. I love that one. So we get all these records. So I'm like super stressed because I have all these things in front of me. And I'm like, you know, I'm stressed for court. It's virtual because she couldn't get there for some stupid reason. So we're sitting in court. And we have to go and we have to do the obvious thing first, replace the child. We have to figure out who the father is. So mom had refused to tell me. So the judge was like, mom, on this case, don't know who dad is. So usually at the beginning of the court hearing, you say the case number, you say who's there. Mom is present with her attorney. Dad is not present We don't know who dad is. Or trying to think what the proper phrasing is. Dad is not present. Dad has not been identified on this case. And then other people in the courtroom might be like CASA or a JPO officer, whatever. So then immediately after we do the introductions as to who everyone is, like who's in the courtroom, the judge goes, I need you to tell me who the father is. This child is in placement and they were a baby. We need to know who this father is. And she was like, I don't know who the father is. And she's like, the baby was just born recently. Your memory can't be that bad. Who's the child's father? And she was like, I don't know who it is. And the judge was like, you have to do something specific to have a child. Who did you do this specific thing that would lead you to have a child that is here present today? And the mom was like becoming frustrated. She was like, I don't know. And she's like, how do you not? The judge is also female. The judge is like, how do you not know? You have to do something to have a child. Who are the people that you did it with? We will go and find them. And she was like, the problem is I had a train ran on me. And everybody was just like, and then I was like, oh. And then of course the judge says, for the record, what does that mean? And the mom said, because when I was using substances, I like how she used the word was using substances like it's the past tense, like she wasn't using them like the same day. She was like, I needed money, so I had relations with a lot of men very quickly. It was the goofiest court appearance I have had, because like there's dumb shit that happens all the time, right? I had a dad who was getting his foot cut off below his knee, so really it's more of like 40% of his leg cut off because he refused to shower. And I want you guys to think to yourself, so when you're testifying in court, right, you have to be very like non-biased, you have to be very professional, you have to be like, on this day at this time I saw this, at this day at this time I saw this. Think to yourselves, how would you phrase to a judge that this man is getting his foot cut off because he refuses to shower? And I'll leave you with that and answer some of your questions. And do I ever flip furniture? Generally, no. Furniture is very hard to resell because it's not very sorry, I'm getting distracted by some of your comments. It's very hard for people to see it. So like if I list a bunch of benches, people generally don't come to Mournhold and just start typing benches. It's very hard to sell furniture on the open market without doing some very like particular things. So I generally overall try to avoid it. With lobster dinners. What are some of your other questions? Was the mom hot? No. This video, probably not either. The people that she was involved with were actually a pretty well-known gang that were involved in drug trafficking. And they all had stupid names too. But like, so I had to explain in an open court hearing that somebody was getting their foot chopped off because they refused to shower. And so to phrase it, I had decided to make statements like, after observing father's foot turn golden, which it did, it was fully gold. It looked like Midas had touched his foot in a very creepy way. I spoke to this hospital social worker who explained to me that he had a very bad infection. I actually forget what the infection's called, but I would say he had a very bad infection of something that was crawling up his ankle, and it would eventually, if untreated, would completely take over his body and kill him, right? Like it would continue to infect his body. So the options were hygiene, and he'd have to do very like big hygienic procedure and amputate below, at this time, the ankle, or he would not shower and have to lose below his knee, because the infection grows in dirty climates, and it was growing at a rate so quickly that eventually it would, get past his leg, and then at that point you can't amputate, and he's completely screwed. And he refused to shower because he was hydrophobic, which sounds like it's a slur, but it just means you're afraid of water. And so he was like, I'm not going to shower. I'm not going to do this. Not going to do that. And the doctors were just like, okay. And they chopped off below his knee. I had to tell a judge about a guy being high and running into a clinic with skin he cut off himself because he thought he had flesh-eating worms, and the judge thought I said fleshy worms, so I had to enunciate, trying not to laugh. Oh gosh. If there were at least 7 members of this train, there would be one for each day of the week, and she wouldn't have to have children at all. I think that we actually did find the father eventually, which is, I guess, the best part of this story. I guess. Is that a good part of the story? He was a train member, train rider, if you will. Unfortunately. I'm not sure my faith in humanity can survive too many more stories. The funny thing is, too, is that a lot of times you just see dumb shit. So, like, for example, I got a report that was like, hey, every time they turn on the lights, the flames erupt in the home. And I'm like, there's no way that this can be true. Like, how does turning on a light switch cause fire in your home? And so I go out there, I was like, hey, I got this report about flames, popping up every time we turn on the lights. Which they're like, oh yeah, we've had this real crazy problem ever since the redid service on our electrical system. And I'm like, this is true? And they're like, oh yeah, every time we flip on this light switch, it flames erupt out of our sockets. And I'm like, what the fuck? It was good to see you, CLB. I'll see you later. Hygiene is out of the question. Option B. Hey, some people change their lives for the better once they have kids, so it could be a great part to the story. I will say that I have seen people overcome huge adversity. I personally have assisted a lot of people through college that were the first people, like former foster kids, or even some parents that were very young, into utilizing different grants and making sure that they can get through college. Or even if they can't get through college and it's not for them, getting them certifications. A lot of times you're trying to solve a problem, and it sounds weird, but like the person is the problem. And I don't mean that like a mean way, but like, I wouldn't be involved with you if you were perfect. There's a reason why none of you have met me. Hopefully it's because you're not in my service range and everything's going hunky-dory, but like, the person is the problem. And you have to evaluate it to, how do I get this person to a point where they have everything that they need, they're stable. And a lot of times you have to make sure that they have a good job, they have good transportation, they have a good education. Yes, King Louis. I'm sorry, I thought I might have missed that. I think you had asked that earlier and I missed it. But you have to analyze the person to figure out, like, what are they missing? Because a lot of times it's like people do dumb things and it just digs a hole. For example, people will move and then they'll be in a place where they have no car, no way to get to a job, and then they'll run out of money. And then it's like, what did you think was going to happen? What was your plan? And they're like, well, I didn't have a plan. It's like, I know you didn't have a plan. How do we get you out of this goofy situation? And those are the types of situations you're trying to solve. the train's just going to keep being a conversation point. Funny enough, too, I was driving down the road a few days ago, and somebody was pushing a Walmart cart up the road in the opposite direction to me, and I just thought, the nearest Walmart is 2 miles away. Why do you have a Walmart shopping cart in the middle of the road in this part of the city where there is no Walmart? And I died a little bit in the inside. It's to the I'm so glad to be moving, because where I live, there are shopping carts that have warnings on them, and the warnings state that if you take this out of the parking lot, it will shut the wheels off. Like, the wheels will not be pushable. I know that people steal shopping carts. Like, that part doesn't surprise me. The part that surprises me is how far away they were from a Walmart. It's kind of like if you were like in a city that didn't have a Walmart, and you're like, why is there a Walmart shopping cart being pushed by somebody? Where did they get this? Like, what level of dedication? And they're pushing it up the road. Like instead of a biker's area, they're like pushing a shopping cart up the road. And the funny part too is they only had like 2 bags in there. So I'm like, did they, like, is it heavy? Like, what was the purpose? Like, was this too much? Hard on the wrists? These are things I wonder. Probably good that I don't have the answers to them sometimes. Again, I apologize for the coughing if you're coming in here for a minute. Ooh. I'll try it. Why not? Beats a wheelbarrow. Yeah, why not? Horse and buggy, you know? I sometimes think that it's somebody who is just so zoned out, like, because they're high, that they are just like pushing this shopping cart all the way home just because their brain hasn't, they haven't processed the, hey, I've gotten to where I've got back to my car, it's time to put this away. They're just like, I'm going home. And it's like they're walking home. I was actually thinking they could probably be listed too. I was thinking that also. So John brings up a good point that I skipped over because of all the crazy stories. You can deconstruct set pieces to get the item used generally for making furnishings in that zone, the style material. And people think style materials are only used for making a specific set in that style. That's also not true. The majority of people probably use style materials to make furniture. And furniture, as we know, is the end game that everybody loves. So that's the key that you want. I think it was Shane Gillis that said, when you're a heroin addict, like, your life becomes different and you start going on quests in the real world, and your quests go from like stealing copper, acquire copper and aluminium, to, go have sex behind a Wendy's, and the quests just keep getting darker and darker. And that's actually very true. I wish it wasn't, but he's not too far off base with that statement. I've seen some people do some crazy stuff for substances. And the craziest thing ever I found out about. So this is one of those situations where when you get a warrant back with somebody's like text messages, phone calls, Facebooks, one, any message that you've ever sent is saved somewhere, probably at least for a few years, not indefinitely, but it's definitely saved. You could send it as invisible, disappearing. No, it's still saved. And when you get those messages, there's some juicy stuff in there. And there was a situation, and this is just, I don't even know where to start this story. I need to think about how I even want to start this. So we'll start it like this. There's a mom, and there's her boyfriend. Mom is addicted to substances, dad is addicted to selling substances and also stealing credit cards. The credit card theft winds dad in jail, right? Dad's in jail, right? So dad's in jail. You got mom, and then you've got the daughter, who is a stepdaughter to him, and then he's got his own other kids. So you've got stepdaughter and mom. So you got mom and daughter, and then you've got dad, right? I'm reading through these messages, and I'm seeing all these messages about buying substances, which they code named the words for drugs as different ice creams. So like vanilla was one type of drug, chocolate was another. And like you pick on, like, I understand that you don't want to use specific words, but like I figured it out immediately. It's like, can I have a lick of ice cream? I'll give you $70. And it's like, I wonder if they're talking about vanilla twist ice cream for $70. Like, what is this code that they're talking in? You know, we're going to call the Cherokees to come solve this bad boy. And it was very obvious right away. And what was that companion gear piece in? What I found in there was shocking. And I don't mean to build suspense. I'm just trying to figure out how to even phrase this. So we found out that dad was trying to steal mom's daughter. So stepdad was trying to steal his stepdaughter and be in a relationship with her. And we found out about it because mom was texting the boyfriend's mom saying, hey, I caught my boyfriend sending your son inappropriate messages to my daughter that were being reciprocated. And then that sparked this whole big thing of like, what the hell is going on? So then Dum Dum is still in jail. So then they pull all his prison calls, and he was calling the daughter. She was using an alias to pretend to be just some other female. And they were having like inappropriate conversations on the prison phone. And then they linked her voice, you know, the minor, to being his girlfriend's daughter. And it was disgusting and stupid. And if you're going to do something illegal, I know a lot of lawyers will say, like, if you're going to do something illegal, don't get caught, blah, blah, blah. Just one, don't do it at all. And two, whenever you listen to a prison call, it still pulls up the front, which is these calls are monitored and recorded. And they say that on all of them. All of them. So they know that they're recorded. And he used that time to talk sexually to a minor, which is crazy. And even crazier when you realize that it was his girlfriend's daughter. And the girlfriend's daughter was pissed off at her mom for being strict. So she said, I'm going to pull my mom's boyfriend to get back at her. So to her, it was a vengeance. She was 16. So it was she was 15 at the time. So she was trying to be vindictive against her mom for being too strict by being in a relationship with her boyfriend. And you can't make it up. You just can't. How many times people plot hiring hitmen for murder on prison phones? Exactly. They just think, oh, they're not going to listen to this. And I mean, there's some truth to that. I mean, like when we were going, like the subpoena warrant that came back that had all our text messages, phone calls, yada, yada. It was like 5,000 pages of information. 5,000. Every comment that she had left on every post, every message that she had ever sent in the last like 3 years, it was right there. And so don't commit crimes. And then if you're going to commit a crime, understand that the police or whomever are going to be like, hey, Facebook, hey, Snapchat, hey, Instagram, can I have this? And they're going to go, yeah. Like, they're going to say yes. It's embarrassing, and there's so many, like, the complexities of some of the stories, like you just can't make it up. Exactly. Pro tip, if you have a court date for driving without a license, do not answer that while driving. Also, don't just show up to court while driving to begin with, because that will already make the judge angry, because you're not supposed to do that. Earn a crown crate. All you have to do is log into Twitch and watch for 30 minutes on the old Twitch. The nice thing is you can watch any stream on Twitch. The reason that I had titled the stream like this, even though technically this is a YouTube/Twitch stream, is I wanted you guys to see it, because I noticed that nobody was talking about it. So that's why a little bit of clickbaitingism. So please don't kill me. I don't mean to make you guys mad at me. Well, there'd be a lot more stuff. Oh, I was like, I'm hoping there'd be something better, and there's something better right under me, and I'm not even looking at it. So I'll turn on the music here for us. Don't worry. How'd it go, Jake? Have a good stream. Thank you, Root. I don't think we'll be doing too much longer. Probably another 25 minutes. I try to keep my streams about 2 hours, but I might do a big long one on Sunday. If you guys are interested in like a 12-hour stream, something like real long and crazy, you know. I'm only 20% into my 2 hours. 2 hours? Oh, is one of the ones 2 hours? We'll definitely be back, and this campaign goes on for a little bit too. But obviously, like, just watch somebody else also. I could put those stories together and make one of mine. A guy here hired a kit man to kill his stepdaughter so he couldn't testify about him molesting her. Whatever you do, don't cross streams. Oh gosh. 2 hours to get all 3 drops. Oh, it's 30 minutes to create 1 hour for the XP, 2 hours for the respec scroll. Thank you. Okay. I see. I'm picking up what everybody's putting down. Is it picking up? I'm trying to make sure that it picks up the music, but it doesn't also pick it up from do you don't hear the music twice, do you? That's what to make sure that I like to try to listen to it in the background. I'm gonna turn it down just in case. Some of these cities have the weirdest locations. I guess it's probably better here. You can continue the 2 hours on another stream as well, by the way. Exactly. Yes. Don't feel like you have to watch me. You can watch anybody. There's probably people who are also better than this than I am. So don't feel like don't feel like you're stuck here. You're not. And especially because I don't stream usually for too long, because my voice has just been absolute hot garbage recently. And I also keep sometimes I just gotta comment that my commentary is hilarious, and I always think to myself when I look at the video it's on, I was like, I had commentary on this video. So sometimes I'm like, what did I say? You guys' comments throw me for a loop in the middle of the day, and I'm like, what did I do in this video? Oh. Or just your general demeanor. That's true, but this is also an old video. Sometimes I always feel like any video of mine that's over a year old is probably like terrible. And I'm like, don't watch any of those. Don't look at them. And then when I was making those videos a year ago, I was like, oh, another banger, another banger. And now I'm like, every video I make is terrible. Oh, it's always about steady improvements, you know, always working on being better, you know, being understanding like algorithms and stuff better, and you know, knowing what people want, how to portray information in a way that's like good. Like, you know, like how do I make information like that is understandable but also good and whatnot. I think your stuff is terrible, trust me, I'm picky. That's good. But also too, I have a lot of unlisted videos that are like really old, so maybe some of the old ones that make you cringe. But thank you, you are the best. I appreciate it, Dottie. I don't think so. I think that there's a lot of, you know, a lot of room to improve, but I always think that's good. You know, there's never any problem with getting better. It's funny you say that, because you said, so they said, actually I like seeing the progression of videos of no cam to having a cam and lighting and the whole setup emerge. If you watch some of the old videos, the backgrounds were really funny, because it was just like, there used to be a weightlifting station here, and it was just a white background with bad lighting and a bad webcam, and like steadily we continue to improve, you know. I think that audio is the biggest thing that I'm trying to work on now, trying to make sure the audio is like good and it makes the most sense. Can I sell that for more? Got the reduced trait. I'll pass it. Increased damage done. I'm sure somebody wants that as in a blue quality, even though I feel like that's like the companion gear that's I've had some nice thieving RNG. Just pulled 4 Orcus Throne gold plans in Rothgar in 3 hours of pickpocketing to look to be 90 to 110k each in reach. That's awesome. You are real, sometimes scattered but relatable. Like you had this sometimes scattered. This is definitely true. It's really bad on stream, and it's funny because on stream it's because like I always feel very guilty not reading people's stuff, and part of it is because like, you know, when I watch like other people's videos, like I watch like hundreds of comments get ignored, and I'm like, what the fuck, you know? Like there are people who stream, like I'm not saying I have a lot of viewers right now. There's 126 people on right now, right? And I have read all of your live messages, all of them. And there are people who be streaming to like 50 people and they just ignore them and they'll just do whatever. They'll be like, oh, I'm playing World of Warcraft. I'm on Xbox NA, actually. I mean, you take your time to help me be better for free, so you can't watch me complaining. Well, thank you. Haven't read this message. Well, I've just read it. Now, sometimes the comments, you guys comment a lot. Sometimes the comments start to get away from me because YouTube always puts the most recent comments first. So I will try to respond like a good chunk of them, but there's like this sweet spot of comments where it's like they're not too old, you know, because I will have gotten to them at some point, but they're not too recent because I would have seen it too. So that's why sometimes if you guys leave like multiple comments, like some of your newer comments might get responded to sooner. So that's why that might happen. It's because YouTube will always put in order the most recent stuff, which can be slightly annoying. I wish it went from oldest to newest. I understand why they do it newest to oldest, because they want you to be like, look, this is what people are saying about your newest videos, and you're like, oh, thanks. I don't want to know. Let's be like cringe. And I'm like, don't say that. Oh, another shoulder. Why did the dragon have skooma? It's a good question. I'm trying to think if I can think of the answer. Because he was banned from having drinks elsewhere. It's a good one. I can't think of what it is. Oh, because his friends were all doing it too. Oh, I even feel like I've heard that one. Oh, I'm just ashamed I couldn't think of it. So I was thinking about every dragon word. I should have thought of that. Thank you for the subscription with your Prime Uncle Cheek on the old Twitch. I should see, what are we at to on Twitch? Are we at we were at 987 followers. We were 13 followers away from 1,000. If you're not following on Twitch, please follow on Twitch. I will I don't know what to offer you. I'll buy this rallying cry restoration staff. See, I held up my end of the bargain. What do you call a chicken staring at lettuce? I don't know this one either. I'll tell them to watch and win a crown crate in 30 minutes quick. You know, it's funny that you guys talk about stuff like that too, because it's one of the harder things to one of the things that I probably struggle with the most is how to title videos, because like on one hand, right, and this is my thought process. On one hand, you don't want to clickbait people because it makes them angry, it's unfair, it's stupid. But on another hand, if you have a title and concept so uninteresting, people won't click on it, and then people don't get the information, and the information might be very helpful to them. You know, like, hey, right now you guys can get a free crown crate. And I also made sure to use, like, to make it not plural. Like, you get a free crown crate. One. Like, you get a single one. And then even in the thumbnail, there's one. A chicken Caesar salad. I should have thought of that. I was thinking, like, something future. Like, what does a chicken... What do you call a chicken staring at lettuce? Like a future prediction, or a chicken seeing his future. But I couldn't think of it. One of my friends used to tell each other riddles all the time too. I used to be really good at riddles and playing Name That Song. I was really good at Name That Song, which unfortunately you can't really do on Twitch and YouTube because they will castrate you. They'd be like, you just played a Carly Rae Jepsen song? Kill him. Is Powerful Assault or Spell Power Cure better? I think the problem is they do two different things in a sense. You know, I think that what they're tailor-made for is just different. I would say that they're both, like, if I put them on a tier list, I would probably put them in the same tier, depending on what the tier list is for. It could be A, B, C's, S plus, whatever. I would say, though, to me, I would say that they're about equal in what they're doing, and then how easy they are to get, how expensive they are, etc. I know you're probably thinking to yourself, Jake, expensive? You can't buy Spell Power Cure. Well, you can buy the fragments for it, and then you can turn those fragments into a chest, and that chest will give you Spell Power Cure. So you can't cancel me because I knew what I was thinking. Silly gooses. Put both together and have a nice hit. You probably could wear both in certain types of content. I feel like this broom deserves to sell for so much more. I mean, it's a broom, but most people probably don't even know this item exists. That's probably its biggest caveat downfall, is it's like nobody knows this is a thing, and it just hurts its value so much. I'm also curious to see how we are stacking up against the others on the old Twitch. Let's see how we are in the YouTube or the Elder Scrolls Online category. I'm always curious because I never stream really, so I'm never usually too good. All right, so we're not in row 1. That's tragic. Even though we do have more viewers than some of the people in row 1, we're doing pretty good, like view wise. We have 81. Where the hell are we though? How do people even find me? What? Am I blind? Where am I? So we're not in row 1, not in row 2, not in row 3, not in row 4. We're not in row 5. Am I crazy? And Twitch really doesn't like me. Imagine if they put me like pretty high up on Twitch. We'd actually have like a couple more viewers. For context, and I'm not saying this is like, you know, this isn't purposeful or anything, but literally there's people with like 16 viewers that are higher than me right now. We have like 81. All right, so we're on row 6. God, with 82 viewers, that's crazy. How does Twitch do this? I guess people really do just come from YouTube. This is why I love all of you guys. You guys come from YouTube. Somebody's throwing a thing on me. Thank you, Baldy, for the flowers. What do you call a Daedra who lives underground? I don't know. What do you call a Daedra who lives underground? Originally I found you because you're one of my guilds, but today I was checking my subscribes on YouTube and I came on a came over to Twitch for the drop. Adromora. So if you want to go to Twitch, John, in the description below on this video, you should see a Twitch account link. And if you click on that, it will take you over to the Twitch. The nice thing is that you can watch any ESO content creator on Twitch to get the drop, because I won't be streaming for too much longer. At least not today. We'll probably do a big long live stream on like Sunday, like a biggin. But basically 30 minutes to get you a crown drop, or crown crate, excuse me. And then you can also watch, I think, for an hour to get an XP scroll, and then 2 hours for a respec scroll or something like that. You can watch any content creator. And you know, or you can watch little old me, you know, all the way down on old row 6. I guess I can't complain. I'm literally next to somebody that on row 6 that has 295 viewers, which why are we all the way down here? Like, why are we in the nosebleeds? I got 82, 83 now. You got 295. I don't know how Twitch does it. I feel honored though, because there's only 2,000 people viewing ESO right now, and I am like, what, like 5%. I've been following you, or I found you on YouTube. It's been fun watching you grow. I always felt like you were slept on for a while. Well, thank you. I switched from YouTube to drop a follow. I hope you hit 1,000 and get to join the stream team soon. Thank you. How do I claim the crown crate, Colby? So have you watched on Twitch already? Or do you walk you through how to do all the stuff if you need? A monster set is Earthgore, which means I need to replace headpiece and shoulders, but it doesn't affect. Why does your message get cut off for me? Sorry, Dottie, your message is like getting chopped off here for some reason. I don't know why. Wayrest Sewer is heroic today. Decon Ottoman's geared to get Dwarven frames about 1.2k. Oh, what's an Argonian's favorite subject? History. You cannot fool me with that one. I know that one. I do know some Elder Scrolls Online's pun. I'm just on YouTube. So Colby, if you go into the link below, you'll see a Twitch. If you jump over to Twitch and start watching there, you'll earn a crown crate after watching any ESO Twitch stream for 30 minutes. And you can watch, and it's like cumulative, so you can watch me for 10 minutes, Flona McFlululu for 5 minutes, Little Timmy for 10 minutes, and then Skinny Cheeks for 5 more minutes, I guess, however many you would take you to 30 minutes, and then boom, you're good. Got yourself a crown crate. And it ends on the 9th. So does that mean I can stream on Sunday? What's I think it means I could do. I'm gonna do some math here. I want to make sure that we can do this on Sunday also. Hey, Sunday is the 9th. What time does it end Oh, 11:59 p.m. Okay. All right. Okay. Easy peasy. Shout out from Phoenix, Arizona. You always kept it real in your personality. Always seems like someone who'd be a friend. Well, thank you, Eric. I think I was speaking to you before too, Eric, I think. You can raid someone streaming ESO as you leave to make some friends so they might raid you next time. I'll be honest, I tried to raid somebody once, couldn't figure it out. And I think it's because they had raids turned off. Will they do drops again during console release? So the Elder Scrolls developers are an enigma, and you never really know what they're going to do unless they're going to reset chat again, because YouTube has determined that their chat messages are not going to go in the box below. I don't know, just because the developers are always different with stuff. And they have like all of their streamers, you know, pushing out stuff right now. So I don't know if they're going to do that again. Also, I think I forgot to pay my guild dues. I'm like kind of panicked. Make sure I didn't get kicked out of any of them. I can't remember. Like, you're gonna see a mail message in here that's like, you forgot to pay. Thank you, John. Let's see if it's here. I bet you it's here. Oh, there's some Warrior Poet sale. There's a Vardenfell map sale, Powerful Assault sale, Warrior Poet, you know. I guarantee this is a message that's like, you forgot to pay. Yep. Yep. That's probably what Baldy was doing. They're probably in Vixen's Valor like, you got our money? You got the money? You better pay up. And probably they send out the enforcers to get the guild dues. Is it only on Twitch? I just started watching your content. It's awesome. I'm just getting into ESO, so yes. Unfortunately, right now, YouTube doesn't have the capacity to do drops and stuff, so you do have to watch on Twitch. But the nice thing is you can get a lot of stuff on Twitch. I do have my own guild. It's not the greatest, but you're more than welcome to join it. If you're in Discord, the Discord's link is below. You can put a thing in there, and I'll send you an invite when I'm able to. I mean, if you're on right now too, I could send you an invite. If you need some cash, check your 3 to 5 alchemy bottles and a craft bag. They sell 100 stacks at a time. Yeah, the craft bag secretly has tons of stuff in there that's worth a lot of money. I've like looked through people's craft bags just to been like, hey man, did you know that you have like a lot of dragon's blood? Dragon's blood's pretty profitable. You know, you could do that. And same with a bunch of other stuff too. You know, you could just like start selling this stuff. I'm usually pretty religious about, well, honestly, I probably don't sell it. I probably turn a lot of into furnishings, because some of this stuff too, even like gold tempering alloys, can be used to make furniture. Kudas can be used for furniture, you know, so I don't usually ever have too many. But if you have a craft bag, for example, and you got a bunch of heartwood, that's free money. You got a bunch of mundane runes, that's a bunch of money. Chromium plates, any plates, trait items, juicy goodness. Earlier you talked about guild traders and their real world equivalent. Which guild trader would you say is closest to a Gucci store? So which guild trader is a Gucci store? So which one is overpriced and useless? Vivek City. Vivek City so bad wants to be Mordenhold, but it's just not. It's just not Mordenhold. Are guilds cross-platform? No. So the game is not cross-platform at all. currently. And the reason I think mostly for that is because the mega servers all have very specific economies, and if you merged all of the servers together, it would be crazy. I got a question. How do people make profit of doing writs if they're paying for them, like 100 plus K for 90 writs or something like that? I think a lot of people that do writs for money also do their daily writs, giving them a lot of materials, meaning that they don't pay material costs. They also get some of their own writ books, and they just convert those writs into stuff that sells. A lot of people buy tunable stations, but when it comes to like decent sales on a sale basis and a time frame basis, I would say you're better off buying either furnishing plans or research scrolls, because those actually sell pretty well. Vixen's is Gucci. First stop off the Way Shrine of Mournhold. To me, Gucci though is just a useless expensive store. So like, I wouldn't say that Vixen's is Gucci, because Gucci's not a store that really people should stop at. Mundane runes are profitable. Really, I have so many in my crap bags. You are in for the greatest surprise of your life, Dragon Fairy 42, because mundane runes are the heartblood of the true endgame, which is furnishings. Mundane runes are the most common crafting material needed, meaning that you have the most sought after item in your craft bag that people need to craft pretty much any furnishing in the game, meaning you are in for a payday if you sell them. And no problem, Colby. If you have any questions too, reach out to me on Discord. I used to say put it in the comments below, but if you want a fast response, just reach out to me directly on Discord and I'll get back to you usually within 24 hours. I'm pretty good on Discord because you don't really have too many messages on there. And thankfully too, that it doesn't pend a lot of my messages. For some reason, like when I told people like, hey, just feel free to message me, a bunch of people did, and then Discord like pended all of them and I had to go find them. But now pended messages pop up in a spot that's not very hidden. The Vixen does also have a free one. And also, if you're not in 5 guilds, be in 5 guilds. There's no benefit to not being in 5 of them. I may or may not have a dumb question. Do you get the Hero of DC Ebonheart pack? Long story short, I completed Cadwell's gold, silver, some main quests to my knowledge are completed. I guess what could I be doing to claim those titles? I think you only hay one no matter how many streams you watch. What do you mean, Oma? A 3D prints? I'm gonna look that up though. Hero of, because I think for Hero of DC you might have to complete quests, not just main quests. I could be wrong. Wait. Hero of the Aldery Dominion. So I pull up the Dominion one. To get the achievement, you'll need to complete 5 quests achievements related. These will have you complete at least 200 quests. So yeah, I think you have to complete the adventure achievement, which means that you have to do the side quests on there. I'm on Xbox and A. It is the side quests. Boy, mom's right. I was looking at it and I was like, I can't, because some things like it's like, oh, you know, you got to do these quests, those quests, and unfortunately those quests can be really annoying to find. I've not completed I've not done this in this zone. I'm like pretty passionate about like getting all the stuff done in every zone. Now I realize I'm missing some of them. It's embarrassing. If you're looking for side quests though, pro tip, the majority of delves have a quest that starts right outside of it. And if you're doing the, hey, complete, you know, which I think is what, this one? Yeah, complete 42 unique quests in the Alakir Desert. If you're doing these types of achievements, I would take every quest you see. If you're in the middle of, you know, Bumblefuck, and you're like, oh, I'm on my way from one quest to another, stop to pick up that quest. Make sure you're doing it. So I think you have to get all of these. So you have to get the adventurer, which means that you have to do the side quests. Yeah, the side quests right outside the delve. Make sure you pick those up because a lot of people forget about those. And also delves also have access to a sky shard. Every single one's got a sky shard, so don't skip on that either. One day I'll get the angler achievement, but not today because I don't have the strength to do it. I still have to do Apocrypha, and that's probably what I should do before the new thing comes out. Look at me, I've only done 18 quests there. Like a baby in the Apocrypha zone. Everything too is you can click X. So in your zone guide, so I've not done Apocrypha, so I can click X and it's gonna tell me, hey, why don't you go over here and do this? You know, this will complete something in your map completion, and from there it'll give you a nice delve that you've not been to before and completed, and there's also usually a side quest attached to it. It also works, yeah, John's right too. You have to also plop down 1,000,000 gold, which, you know, depending on what console you play on, might be a lot. So that's why playing on PC can be also kind of nice, because inflation is so high that, like, you sell like one perfect row, you're a millionaire. You know, like, and granted, everything else is expensive. Like, if you also wanted to buy perfect row, it's like 100K on NA, but that means that if you're buying from vendors that have just straight gold, like housing vendors, you're gonna save money. But whoever was talking about getting that house, there's the Zeals of Zenthar event makes homes 10% cheaper, which means 1,000,000 gold is gonna turn to 900,000 gold. 10% is a lot. So if you're thinking to yourself right now, I want to buy a home, hold off. Mortgage rates will go down by 10% here very shortly, so you'll get yourself a home for a lot cheaper. So you'll be hunky-dory. So make sure that you guys are doing that on the side. Thinking to yourself, also too, furnishing vendors will be 10% cheaper, so every single zone, including Cyrodiil, has a furnishing vendor. There's some pretty juicy stuff. When is Cheap House event? I don't know if they've announced the start date yet, but let me look. Let me do some research here on the side. All right, they just made the big, ironically, I made a whole video for June, like, here's a June guide, and I don't remember when the Zenthar event starts. Silly goose. Seals of Zenthar starts June 20th. I've saved so many side quests starting 1 to 50, so when I get to 160 of that I have to get the overland. That's smart. So basically, for those of you who don't know, you also get a gear piece generally for completing side quests. It's going to be attached to your level. If you're in a bad zone, I would just say, or just a zone that's like not super important, just, you know, do the quest whenever, because you're going to need to put stuff on, and by putting stuff on, you'll be leveling up your gear. ESO's got a weird scaling system that basically says a level 3 wearing level 3 gear is as strong as a level 10 wearing level 10 gear, which is as strong as a level 160 character wearing 160 gear. But where it becomes problematic is if you're like level 20 wearing level 10 gear, you're starting to get real wimpy. You know, the game's like, what are you doing there, Javier? Like, put some good gear on. What are you doing? But make sure that if you're buying anything, Telvar vendors, golden stuff vendors, which we'll have a video on, obviously, housing vendors, any vendor that requires a currency, Deals Zenthar event, June 20th, which is like, what, 14 days away? 14 days away from now. will be 10% cheaper. So obviously, some of the vendors that are going to be rotating, like the Tuesday vendor, the Friday vendor, well, you know, you're not going to get a chance to buy them until it actually opens. So this weekend, tomorrow, you know, it may or may not be worth buying. Hopefully there's something juicy in there. But if there isn't, obviously it's important to keep saving your money, because houses will be 10% cheaper and it'll be a good save for all of you guys. I'm going to start wrapping up this stream though. I'm going to go pay my dues like a good little cherub, as I will 100% forget. Because I got to go eat dinner after this, and I will 1000% forget to pay, and then I'll get another email from somebody being like, "You've paid your money," and they'll send another enforcer after me, and the enforcers just level up. You know, they get harder and harder, and they just beat you up and take your wallet. Does anyone have any final questions that they want to ask? And obviously, if you're behind in the stream, you're catching up to this point, and I've already ended it, just message me on Discord if you guys have questions as well. But if you don't have questions, just well, if you do have questions, put them there. But if you don't have questions, obviously, feel free to tell me anything. But be wrapping up here soon. There's the dues paid, the majority of them. Feel so weak, or feel so much poorer already. Let's switch this over. Best beginning flips is sets. So the majority of ESO sets on console will sell from a range of, I would say, probably 8 to 20,000. Even if they're like not even that good. Like I was selling Thunderbug, which is a not good set. They're still selling. So set sales, you can usually find people who are selling sets that are worth 8 to 10,000 for 1 to 2,000. Pick those up, flip them. I guess I can go list them on Discord. Go raid another streamer. All right, I will. We'll see if I can figure this out. While we're doing that, let me see if I can figure this out. Do you guys have like a favorite? How do I? Let me take you guys with me. 2 seconds, everyone. Don't leave. Be really awkward if you all logged off and be like, sorry, they all left. Be really funny if I send you guys to like an ASMR stream, wouldn't it? Like, hope you guys like hot tubs. What are the requirements to become a stream team member? It is 1,000 Twitch followers, which does not translate to any other type of follower. All right, so let me pull up this stream. That's how you report it. I don't know, report it. I'm gonna look this up. So it just says /raid and then username. Is that really that easy? There's no way it's that easy, right? let's try it out. But thank you guys so much again as we're figuring all this goofy stuff out. Curious to see how close are we to our goal. We are at 993 followers, so we are 7 followers away. So if you're not following on Twitch, we just need 7 more of you silly gooses You guys could help your boy out, but if not, don't worry. If you guys are already all following, don't stress. Or if you guys are like, you know, I don't really do that on this platform, totally okay. Look at this. Does this do it? Green. I think if I start doing this more, other content creators will like me. Like, Jake rated me. This channel is intended for a mature audience. Does that mean it did it? I'm working on it. We're working on it. Oh, there we go. There we go. We've successfully raided somebody. You know what's funny is he actually requires phone verification to talk in his chat. So I can't even say anything. That's funny. Well, unfortunately, I can't even talk in his chat because I can't verify my phone number. My Twitch phone number is attached to another Twitch account. So that's kind of funny. So thank you guys so much again for watching. Please go to Twitch, finish all your Twitch stuff up so you guys can get all your rewards and stuff over there. I want you guys to get your crown crates. We'll be back on Sunday for a big stream. I hope to see you guys then, and I'll catch you later. Love you guys. See you tomorrow with the golden vendor.